So I had to prepare myself for that. But today, or tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about prayer. Paul says to pray continually. And it's like, look, Paul, like, I know you had a great life, bro. Like, I'm sure you didn't have much going on, but I don't know about you. My week's been busy. I'll do good. I'll have my little time, and then I'll move on. Okay, and there's no judgment, but it then becomes kind of a ritual, and it's good to have rituals to say devoted times, but a lot of times I get asked, and I just got asked this by, I think he's maybe 14, 15 on TikTok. I love his fire and his spirit, but he's connected with me. Last night he asked me, he's like, I feel like I've been praying so much, and I feel like God's just not answering my prayers to say. And so at 14, number one, I wasn't even asking that question. But number two, I just had to think about, I don't want to get too adult on him to say, mature, because I believe a lot of us believe that Jesus is this guy in the sky, taking our list and checking it twice. And if we act good, he might come up and show up one day in December. But that's not the way God works. And thank goodness, because if we could control God, Lord knows we would try. Well, we do try, some of us, all of us, I have at times. But what I'm saying is that we would always be asking, kind of like a genie in a bottle, and that's not God. See, he says in Matthew 6:7, he says, your Father already knows what you need, so do not babble on like the pagans do. Pagans repeated the names of their gods or the same words over and over without thinking. And I grew up in that, around that. I knew what Raymond was going to say before someone even asked him to lead in prayer. And there's no judgment there. But, I was like, man, I got to memorize that, because if they ever ask me to wait on the table or something, like, ooh-wee. So I think still this day, this week I'm speaking Wednesday at student ministry. And I've been preparing for that message. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I hope public prayer is scary for me for whatever reason. So the only way I can move past that is to acknowledge it, to call it what it is, and to move past that and ask God to lead me through that experience. So I think what I'm going to tell you tonight, what I put yesterday on my story, or I guess it's story, Facebook, it just came over me like I was walking my dogs, and literally they were dragging me everywhere. No shocker there, but I have it somewhere. I wrote it out. Man, see, this is what happens when I went a minute ago and I was like, I want to find that piece of paper I need. Well, Jay comes back with all this stuff, and Lord help me. See, that's the thing with clutter in life. Sometimes I feel like I have too much, that I can't find the important thing when I need it the most. I'm going to look one more place, and then I'm going to say, okay, God said I don't need it. Okay, here we go. I found it. I'm back. Hey. So my dialogue with the divine this evening I wrote. And I'll use that word dialogue because it's very important. It's very important because many of our prayers are monologues. And they're repetitive words, and there are lists that we need, and that's good. It is good. But what I really encourage everybody, what really took my prayer life deeper to say and made it more abundant is when I truly trusted what was said in Matthew 6:7, that the Father already knows what you need. It's just me going to Him and saying, Jesus, I don't know what I need. I mean, I think I do, but we probably know that's not what I need. So please, Lord, just make me open to whatever I need to walk this journey with you, and He will. So when I ask that, it's not that I'm not praying something and just scared that He won't answer. No, it's saying I don't want to tie God up. I don't want to make Him that. I want to keep Him free just like He keeps me free. And I say, Lord, just give me what I need on your timing. And it might go a week and I not feel any difference. And so I don't become resentful. I don't become angry at God to say because He hasn't answered my prayers. But I said that in a roundabout way to that young man because I don't want to kill the spirit. I'm not saying that, but I think that becomes more and more as you mature in faith. So I wrote, it seems that I can't get ahead. And I just felt this come over me, and I knew who it was. It was Jesus. And He said, yes, Jay, my son, my go-getter, just have 1,000 tabs open. I'm sure He didn't say that, but He might have on Google at the same time. Well, that is because you are never meant to go before me. Instead, my son, you are to follow me. Really, Jesus didn't say anything to His disciples except follow me. Follow me, watch me. Let me be the example. He didn't sit them down. He taught them, but He was teaching them through example. And He was telling them that you are to follow me, not get in front of me and lead me, because that's the human nature. Good evening, Jeff. It's been a week. Good to see you though. And it says, He said, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I don't know about you, but I feel like 100,000 things are on my shoulders. I know it because I start getting headaches. I get tension in here. And I think I can speak for a lot of people. My coworkers as well. This week was something. But, it's just, I have to remind myself that I don't have to carry that. That's not who I am. No, I work for the Lord and serve those that He has put in my path, or for me to work for, to serve, but ultimately I answer to Jesus. So anyways, this led to me saying, yes, Lord, you don't call where you won't lead. And I had to remind myself of that. He's calling us to this time. Just this week, or 2 weeks ago, there was this pastor that was speaking to the teachers at our school, and he says, teachers, there's something about teachers, and there's something about a lot of people that are in public service to say, or I don't know how he said it, but we tend to run towards the chaos. And I was like, that's so true, because that's our heart. That's our heart. And so I have to remind myself that He has called me. He's called people in the building and the building with me, alongside with me, that I am to carry my load and they are to carry theirs. And we all go about it a different way, but we're all in search of the same thing, or in hope, the goal of the same thing. And that's to take care of those kids the best we can. And I have to know that I'm there for a reason. You know, God does not call me where he won't lead. So I know he goes before me. And there's peace in that. And so, anyways, going on to that, I had someone in our group, Crystal, she commented on my post. I don't know if I posted this to the group. I think I did. But she said, my dialogue with the divine today. And she had this written out. And she says, me, it just seems I just can't get ahead. The divine, you never were behind. You are the head and not the tail. You are seated with me in heavenly places. You are meant to reign. Keep up the good work. Woo! I was like, that'll preach. So the teacher me, I need to do this more. There's actually on a set of books, it says Conversations with God. And this Neil Hurst, I think, Donald Wash, I don't know. Anyways, he documented these prayers of his and having these conversations. And we have, it really brings your prayer life to a more consistent basis when you can interact, when you can have that conversation, that real conversation, because yes, Jesus is divine. He is Almighty, Lord of Lords, King of Kings, you name it. But he's also a friend. He's also a father. And that has really taken another step in me, or deeper, since I've lost my father in February. It just kind of hit me. But I have a father that goes before me still, and that I can talk to, and that I can be real with. And just like that, it was not a, you see, you need me. You know, it's not that. It was just a loving tone. And that makes me more willing to talk with him. You know, it says, here I go with my notes, and I don't have them ready. Mark 8:18. They have eyes, but they do not see. They have ears, but they do not hear. So, I'll be honest with you. I believe if you start having these dialogues, they might be really short. They might have some emojis, and they might have some explicit, I guess I could say that. I've had those before, you know. But that's the human in me, and it's got to go somewhere. And I think the Lord is able to handle that, if anybody can. And instead of transmitting it, projecting, throwing it onto those around me that already have enough on them, I take it to the Father. Not because I have to, but because I want to. And I just want to be heard. And when I think about my earthly father, he was always that guy I could call. He's always that guy. A lot of my friends said the same thing. My sisters say the same thing, no matter what time. And they knew it wasn't going to get judgment. I mean, he was a father. He taught me right and wrong. He held me accountable, responsible. But it was in love as well. And that's how I think of Jesus. It's crazy how many people don't understand the power that, one, resides in them, but the power that they have that is always there for us to talk to. And he talks back, because it says, my sheep hear my voice. My sheep hear my voice. And it's hard sometimes. It's hard. okay, well, Jay, I hear this voice and he's saying, like, dude, you need to get out of here, or you need to do this, or calm, still voice, whisper almost. Not that loud noise. That's probably from the enemy. And that's where you learn discernment. And you're not going to get it right 100% of the time. But you become more and more familiar with the voice of Jesus, God, Creator, King of Kings. That's how you build it. You know, it's like, it's so many people forget that it's a journey of faith. I was just reading this and prepping for my message. And number one, I'm like, okay, Jay, you're talking to students, so you don't need to be reading Richard Rohr, but it's so good. And our church is on Exodus right now. And he made so many good points. But it says, you know, all that God has given Moses at this time when he's leading them from slavery to the promised land, all that God gave him was a promise, and yet he acts on that promise. The person of faith is the one who expects the promise to be fulfilled. History for that person becomes a time between promise and fulfillment. It doesn't say how long, but he's with us. It says, God simply says, and he says, and that's what God simply says, I'll be with you, and that's all. God is saying, in effect, I will do it, trust me. And Moses' power in the presence of the Lord and the directions come as he walks the journey. I love that. As he walks. There's that old hymn, as he talks with me and he walks with me. Now that's going to get me because I listen to that a lot with my dad. But that's the Jesus that you fall in love with. Not in fear of. You are to fear the Lord, but not in the fear like a lot of this world often portrays. He's our friend. He loves us. We are his children. Says the person who is alive in the spirit can recognize spiritual things. If on the other hand you are playing a social game called religion or an academic game called theology, this book, meaning this Exodus book, will not speak to you. And it's the spirit in me. Like I would have read something a long time ago and it would not even registered. And often what people do is like, this person, I don't like this preacher. This some new age stuff, like, and that's okay. But what we don't understand, we tend to throw out, right? That's easier to judge. And it's not bad. Like, you discern it. I'll listen. I'm going to listen to you. And I'm going to discern that. I think that's all I got with that. But this is called the way of faith. It's not a way of certitude, a certainty. Certainty and control go hand in hand, right? And so, all right, I want to also talk about... It's like, Jay, you talked enough. This idea of contemplative prayer. You know, I talk about this as people ask me, and I have to remember that it doesn't work for everybody to say. And I have prayer warriors, and I have people like the War Room, and I love those people. And that's not the way God operates with me. Now, I had those times, but I'm saying I'm in constant dialogue with Jesus. 24/7. Well, not when I'm sleeping, but maybe sometimes the dreams or something else. But it's having this contemplative mindset. It says in 1 Thessalonians 5:16-19, it says, "Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Do not quench the Spirit." I love that. Do not quench the Spirit. You know, give thanks in all circumstances. For this is... So, how do you do that? Well, you know that the Lord is in control. He is sovereign. And He already knows this. And He's working all things for our good. Now, there might be some hurts along the way. And as they said in Exodus, you know, they often didn't see it till they got to the promised land or looking back. You know, the stuff, what's up, Jackson? The stuff that has really been hard for me in that time, I would have said, man, I'm out. And then seeing how God turns graves into gardens, one of my favorite songs right now, which I was going to read some of that. Stay on task, Jay. I'm bad about that. So going into prayer just a little bit more, we ask not to change God, but to change ourselves. Does your prayers ultimately come from, let's just be honest, a place that you are kind of, hey, Jesus, if you can make this work, you know, that'd be good. And sometimes that happens, but sometimes it's a big slam in the face of a door, and it's like, okay, all right. We pray to form a living relationship, not to get things done. Prayer is a symbiotic relationship with life and with God, a synergy which creates a result larger than the exchange itself. This is why Jesus says all prayers are answered, which does not appear to be true according to all evidence. Think about that, okay? Think about that. If God answered everybody's prayers to say, and the way we ask, He's like, I got this, I promise you. But, you know, that's living in faith. It's between what I read earlier of promise and fulfillment. You have this promise. He gives us our promises, and that's what keeps us going. And then we don't know how long to that fulfillment. But that's faith. That's the journey. And then I wrote this tonight. God is always loving us and liberating us in more ways than we're usually ready for. So tonight, I want to leave you with this. You got homework for the weekend if you want. But you know what? What works for you? All I can say is have some time this weekend. Just you and Him. As this world would say, it's a waste. So waste some time with Jesus. And it's not a waste. It may seem like it. It may literally seem like dying. Because we need to do. And what I say is, I need to be busy being for a little bit. Busy being. That's hard. Especially when you have so many things that you need to do. I think that's it. Live with an attitude of gratitude, and you will see the Lord working. I'm telling you, gratitude changes everything. And I'm not talking about I'm grateful for this beautiful house, Lord. That's good. But no, I'm thankful for your truth and your love today. I'm going to focus on those two things. Truth, love, family, peace, provision. So when you turn it away from material things are they're good, but they're material. Those things that are eternal, everlasting. That is where you start seeing those prayers being answered. And you're like, whoa. All right, let's see. For some reason, he says to ask for your daily bread is to know that it is going to be given. The Lord's Prayer, give me today my daily bread. How many times do you ask that and don't expect to truly get that? Now, what that's meaning is what you need for today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, but today. So it's having that. And, okay, it's about 8, so I gotta get going. But I want to read this song real quick. Man, I didn't even get into contemplation. I talked about that. Contemplation is Latin, is contemplata, which is to see, and consciousness is Latin. It comes from Latin, cogere, to know with. So to see and know. If you haven't found God inside, how can you expect to see him in others? Contemplation allows you to simply see what is happening in yourself from a learned and practiced distance. And it leads to action instead of reaction. How many times do you live your life in reaction? Like 95% of this week. Oh, another change. Oh, another change. Oh, another change. Oh, I didn't see that coming. So we have those times, but having that in life of not reacting, but saying, Lord, allow me to act on what you are revealing to me. True prayer or contemplation is a leap into commonality, community, and connection. Connected or corrected? Is it more important for you to be correct, or for you to be connected? So many people are like, well, I'm correct. I don't care if that disconnects me from anything, anyone, anybody. So you must essentially use a different processor. You do not fully process the moment by judging it, analyzing it, and differentiating it. You don't oppose it. And it simply comes to, it is. Literally, that's what it comes down to, because I can't control this. I mean, it is what it is. And I'm okay with that. Because I know who is in control, right? Not me. All right, so I hope I wasn't too far out there tonight. But zone in, Jay. Woo, squirrel. Have a moment this weekend. If you want to, you don't have to. I'm going to put a little post in our group. I'm going to say, have this divine dialogue this weekend. And if you want, like Crystal did, if you want to share that, that would be awesome. If you don't want to share it, you don't have to. But I want to push you to the Lord. Like he wants to have this relationship with you where you can go to him for with anything. The good, the bad, the ugly. Because he knows all. You know, as a kid, I remember there were some times where I was a good kid, whatever. At least I had people fooled. But I was caught a couple times just ran-headed. I don't even remember doing something. Who knows? But it was like, well, it does no good to lie right now. I was caught. I'm caught. You know the truth. But yet so many people, so many adults are in denial. And they don't use, like, quit hiding it. It's already known. He knows. And he says, look, let me have that. I will redeem it. What is darkness, I will turn to light. What is exposed to the light becomes light. We all have darkness. And you know what? That makes me depend on him. And it creates this relationship of relating. Okay, Graves in the Gardens, last thing. This first line, I searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied here in your love. There's nothing better than you. Lord, there's nothing better than you. I am not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws, Lord. You've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. There is not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. Just take some words and just think of those. Read a scripture. Don't have to read a book tonight. Just a verse. Go to Proverbs and just pick out a word and focus on that. And still your mind. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. I've taught this to many people before. I've been taught it myself. When I really need to slow down, that tends to put me in that place. I just take a word off from that verse. And I keep doing that until I can be. So be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Be still. Be. I had to think for a minute. I'm always bad about that. But you get the concept. Do it again. You'll start seeing things. Just focus. 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 Where you focus, energy flows, right? What are you focusing on? No judgment, just honesty. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go join the TikTok world. Prayers, please. And I'm going to take a vow. Tomorrow, I'm going to rest and recoup. Try my best. So pray for me there. And probably back Sunday, we'll have New Vision here. You know, we'll have a message based on Exodus. It's good. Jeff joins me on there, and Christina. A lot of you come join that. I share that to our group. I'll be in the chats moderating or hosting. And then Sunday afternoon, my buddy Steven goes live, so I'll share that. And then if I felt compelled, I might reach out again Sunday evening. But I got to finish my scripture and then get back into school mode as well. All right, Jeff, I'll check those out. But come join me on TikTok if you want. I'll share the link if you have TikTok. If not, it's all good. You might want to stay away from there. It's crazy. But it's also something that the Lord has, what maybe the enemy meant for evil, right? He's turned it to good. And there's a good little community there. And there's a minister opportunity. And, well, when that is there, I'm going to go. So, come what may. All right. Love each and every one of you. May you have a good weekend. And may God's peace be yours. And have some dialogue with the divine this weekend, tonight.